Hello amazing viewer and welcome to another adventure here in Phitsanulok, Thailand. On this trip, I headed to a local suspension bridge that crosses over the Nan River. The purpose of the excursion was to find the bridge and drive over it using my motorbike, check the current river levels and answer the question, will it flood? Explore Wat Lom on the other side of the river, which I have a separate video for that, and lastly, test out some new equipment. So how did I find out about the suspension bridge? Well, our good neighbor and friend invited us to eat at a restaurant on the other side of the Nan River. I drove my SUV to the place, which was a good thing since it rained pretty hard shortly after we had arrived. If we had taken the motorbike, the drive home would have been a wet one. While eating, our neighbor explained there was an easier way to get to the restaurant. He bust out his phone, pulled up Google Maps, and showed me this bridge. He explained to me it was not for cars, but only for foot, bicycle, and motorbike traffic. After hearing this, I had to visit and ride over this bridge. Boy, did I get lucky with this weather. This is perfect weather for riding the motorbike. I mean, I haven't seen blue skies in a very long time. They've always been very gray and overcast with tons of rain just letting all over the place. So this is a real treat. Time to slow down the motorbike and make this left turn. And speaking of bridges, this is the bridge that goes over the canal that's right next to our house. Does anybody remember the nickname I gave to this bridge? Leave a comment below. And if I make a right at that intersection, that will take me to that white temple that I had a video about recently. I'll leave a link to the video I created for Wat Sao Hin in the description below. But now we are heading towards the gateway for the temple Wat Khung Waree. And for those of you who are new to the channel, I have a couple videos about Wat Khung Waree. One of them is a party at the temple, a giant celebration that was held there. And another one was a religious ceremony where we actually took our doggies with us. So I'll leave links to both of those videos in the description below. I'd like to take that little shortcut past the gym equipment. I haven't used any of the equipment, mainly because I would probably need a little bit more weight than my own body weight. But we are coming up on that gateway to Wat Khung Waree. The gateway, I mean, it's not so much a gateway. It's an archway, and you can see that archway coming up on the right. If you have not been following the news in Thailand, the northern portions of the country have been battered by some rather intense monsoon storms. Areas like Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai have been flooded by both canals and rivers overflowing their banks, as well as dams reaching or exceeding their capacity, such that the government has had to release the excess water to prevent a complete dam failure. The Thai news has been inundated with a constant barrage of news stories covering the devastation. At one point, it was reported that 33 people had lost their lives. I am sure that number has increased. In areas where it has flooded, once those waters have subsided, cleanup has been a huge challenge. In some parts, mud and silt buildup have been a meter or higher thick. Talk about a mess. They've pulled in heavy equipment to haul this mud and garbage out. For Phitsanulok, there have been some mild flooding, but not anywhere near the level seen in the far north. I have seen farmland flooded with what I would guess is a meter of water, but reports state that other areas are under by 1 to 2 meters. It could be months before farmers may plant again in those affected regions, not to mention any crops they have already lost. Financially, it's a big hit for them. The water for the river originates in the Nan province, which is in the far north. So if there are severe rains, all of that water has to flow downstream through the Nan province onto the Uttaradit, Phitsanulok, and Phichit provinces. Eventually, the river system dumps into the Chao Phraya River, which then heads to Bangkok. Everyone along the river has to be concerned because a flood upstream may mean a flood downstream. Luckily for us, we have had a break in the weather, so things have had a chance to dry out. Heck, I even pressure washed the SUV. It had so much mud caked on it because the road leading to our house is just a big pile of muddy mess garbage. It's horrible. This will be short-lived, however, as new storms are predicted in the coming days. I'm sure there's a more direct route to get to this bridge. I'm looking at Google Maps. I see that there are multiple different roads that snake through this neighborhood that sits right next to the river system, but I'm not really familiar with the area that well, so it's best for me to go the way to Wat Waree and then make a right-hand turn and follow the road that runs parallel with the river. It's a safer bet. One of the fears that I have when I drive through these smaller areas in the rural countryside is that I don't want to be rushed at by a pack of dogs. So I know I've seen videos of it happening to other people. I just don't want to be part of that statistic. So I want to stay closer to the bigger roads. Driving through this neighborhood, you would really never know that the big city was 20-25 minutes away. I love it. These small little roads, the lush greenery, the trees. I'm sure that everybody in these parts, everybody knows everybody. And it's probably a very tight-knit community in these parts. Pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure where this suspension bridge is since it is my first time riding here, but I know I'm very, very close, and I think I found it. We've got a lot of motorbikes driving off of this road, and sure enough, look at all those cables, and that's anchored to the ground, tied to the main portions of the bridge. Since I'm planning on stopping right in the middle of the bridge, I'm going to let some of this motorbike traffic pass by. There's a few still coming. I just want to make sure that I'm not like a complete roadblock for everybody. I'll take my video and move on as fast as I can. But it turns out there's a sign on the other side of this bridge, and this bridge in particular was built 18 years ago. I actually had a Thai gentleman help me find the sign, and he explained, the age. It was pretty cool, very helpful. Originally, I was concerned that the platform where you drive on would be made out of wood or something that could be eaten away by the elements. Sort of like what you would see in a movie, and things would crack and you'd fall down into the river. But they had these nice thick steel plates that lined the driveway, and it made for a better sensation. It was a little noisy at times, but I never got the feeling that I was going to fall in, which was a good thing because I don't want to swim with a motorbike. I'll park the motorbike and we can take a closer look at the river. So, as of yesterday, the Nan River Levels have receded by 63 centimeters to a level of 6.97 meters, which is about 67% the river's capacity. The steady decrease is a very good thing for the residents of the province, but boy, that is a lot of water, and the color is a deep reddish brown, a clear indicator of the river being saturated with washed out soil and debris. Speaking of which, while at the traditional longboat races in Phitsanulok, I saw many large trees and lumber floating down the river. It makes me wonder, was that wood part of someone's home that got washed away? A sad thought if true. It has taken me multiple days to put this video together, and during those days we have had rain return, and the levels for the Nan River have shot back up. They are now at 7.08 meters. To quote a September 29th, 2024 article from the Bangkok Post, from August 16th, flooding affected about 181,000 households, killed 49 people and injured 28 others in 37 provinces, according to the Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation. It also goes on to say that flooding has been reported in 17 provinces, which is mostly in the north and the northeast, and it's affected 40,000 families. I will leave a link to this article in the description below. I'm sure a lot of the statistics that I read just a moment ago have changed since multiple days have passed, and these storms are not letting up anytime soon. In fact, they're hitting with a vengeance again. As for my technology test, I won't bore you with the details, but it was a massive failure. Originally, I tried to record my voice as I drove, but the technology gods denied that request. I really need to streamline my recording rig, as it is way too complicated now with too many points of failure, and that is why I'm re-recording this voiceover. Yay! Well, there you have it. I found the bridge, successfully crossed it without falling over the side. We are not going to flood just yet. I found Wat Lom, which I'll have another video on that, and my recording equipment failed. I think the positives of this trip definitely outshine the failures. Honestly, I enjoyed driving over this bridge so much I could probably do it all day. I'm lucky to have it so close to home, so if I ever get that urge, hop right back on the motorbike and I can drive, cross it 10 times. And before I go and share my final thoughts, I'd like to share with you one last little clip that happened on October 1st. This is Mother Nature saying hello to everyone and telling us that she is the one that is in full control and has the power. This event woke the entire family up, and we were talking about it for days. And for those of you who listen via headphones, you may want to turn the volume down. Just a warning. And before I go, my thoughts and prayers to those affected by the Thailand monsoon storms and by Hurricane Helene on the east coast of the United States. Stay strong, people. I hope you have enjoyed this ride along with me. Please like, subscribe, and share. It means the world to me and gives me the motivation to share more of amazing Thailand with you. See you on the next adventure. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please click one of the video links below or click the playlist.